Hey y'all, it's Chonfelito. We got another tank in store for you. It's going to be that tank right there, the T55A. Now, talking about the tank, I actually just picked this tank up and I am loving every minute of it. I've played a few games in it and it has been fantastic for me. A few things about the tank. It's closely related to the T54. It's pretty much a premium T54. The only key differences are you get an extra 18 degrees extra 18 millimeters of pen, which is very helpful, which I find makes a big difference at playing the T54 versus this tank. You can really feel the difference in the shots that you actually pen. And then another thing is the turret armor on the T55A is so much better. I mean, you can see right there, 3 bounces all off of all of those guys right there. That was I don't know how that happened, but just got lucky. Now, I think right now I'm running like a 68% or 78% win rate in the tank. I can't remember, but anyways, I'm doing very well in it, and I'm sure that'll go down over time. But overall, I do think it is a great tank. It is one of the best tier 9 mediums in the game, in my opinion, because of the great armor that it has, and also because of the great credit coefficient. I think it's 135%. That is just fantastic. And like I mentioned, with that turret armor, you can see some of the places that I get in here, this tank is just almost godlike because of that turret armor. It allows it to go hull down. Now, given it does not have the greatest gun depression, it's got 5 degrees, so it's nothing amazing. So it is a little bit difficult, but if you're just showing that turret, it's going to be nearly impossible for people to pen you. I mean, this spot over here that I'm in right now, you can see that I'm just barely showing my turret, and I'm just barely poking up just enough, and that is just going to be red as a tomato to everybody that's trying to shoot at me. Now, I just got a couple of clips here that kind of highlight some of the best parts of the tank, and then at the end, I've got to replay a mastery with Fizzy that he had done. He picked it up pretty early. I was hoping that I was able to pick up a mastery, but I wasn't able to pick up a mastery. I think I got a couple first classes or something like that, so we'll use Fizzy's and he'll show us how it's done. Now, the best part about this tank is the mobility that it has. You can get in and out of situations very, very quickly, and if you're in trouble, you can bail out of there, and you'll be able to get in and to be able to get out very quickly. And you can see that the gun does its job very well. I find it to be very accurate for even though it is a hybrid nation. I don't remember what nation this tank actually was, but for the gun, I mean, comparing it to the Russian gun of the T54, it is extremely accurate, even though they share the same characteristics. But you know, most Russian guns tend to be that big, derpy, have that huge aiming circle, and if you pen it, then you know that it was the hand of Stalin guiding it in. So this tank is just fantastic. Overall, it doesn't do anything spectacularly well, but it does everything very well. You can see right there I got a little aggressive, poked out too far trying to get a shot to finish off that Conway, and I got punished for it. But the price of the tank that it is right now, I think last time it came, looking at the spreadsheet, I believe it was 10,000 gold. So this tank coming for $20 for the equipment slots, or 15 for just the tank. For a tier 9 tank. See, I've got 3 tanks here, and I know I'm not going to win. But because I've got the speed of this tank, I'm able to bail out of there and try and get around this corner before I get another shot taken into me. Now I know this team number 2 is going to come and try and get at me, so I'm going to try to block the shot if I can. But you can see the armor of the tank really comes into play. I've found that I bounce you see this AMX 1390 is going to have a tough time penning me, because as I roll up this hill, I'm angling my upper plate, so it's nearly impossible for him to pen me in those positions. If you're able to angle your tank and be able to use that gun depression, even though it's only 5 degrees, but you're able to use that as much as you can, you'll be able to bounce all sorts of shots. I mean, right here you can see I got a T54. That lower plate is the weak point of the tank, so you do need to be hiding it. Notice how I'm twisting my tank and turning it to try and get bounces off of these tanks, and you can see I turn it just in time, able to turn that upper plate so it becomes an auto ricochet for the tanks that are trying to shoot me. So honestly, this tank can be very good if you are just super aware of wiggling your tank constantly. You really don't need to take a whole lot of time to aim onto the shots, because as you can see, the accuracy is just fantastic. So just make sure you're always wiggling. If you're staying stationary, it's going to be very easy for the tanks to hit you. But because of the fantastic traverse speeds, you're able to get them. Now right here you can see I'm kind of rolling around the hill trying to angle my tank so that I can get that bounce from him, so that I can stay at full hit points throughout that whole brawl. Now this tank right here, or this guy right here, is Fizzy. Now I don't know how he's always so lucky to be able to get these masteries right when the tank comes on sale, but he's going to show us how it's done here on to get a mastery really quick, and it does come down to the wire, and he does get pretty lucky, but nonetheless, great game. So you can see right here, he's rolling out to A, doesn't have a whole lot of support out here. He's got a couple of tanks that are hanging out behind him, but he's pretty much going to capture A, and this capture right there of A is going to be critical in the end. So anytime you're there, even though there was no tanks, make sure you're capping bases when you can, because when it comes down to the wire, that's exactly what you need, is sometimes those bases to put the pressure on the enemy so that they'll make a mistake. So right here you can see he's now rolling through. The enemy spawn is going to try and come up behind him to try and deal with some of the tanks that are there. And you see his team is getting overrun in town, but he's going to try and get behind him, see if he can get some shots in the rear of him, get him to turn around and to focus him a little bit more, as opposed to the team that's in front of him, just to try to help farm some damage. Get some pincer going on so that he can really put the pressure on the team. You can see they're all kind of bunched up right here, and they're really stuck. Now right here, he does take a shot from that VK, and unfortunately, as he's pulling back, he does miss his shot. But you can see right here, he's trying to get on that lower plate to pin that VK, but unfortunately turns and is able to get his track instead. Now, it's coming down, it's a 4 versus 6 right now, so there is still a lot of work to do. But you can see right there, he's able to get another nice roll of 286, and you can see it's got the 310 alpha, so you can get up to the 350s. I think the max roll, when you max roll with it, is 388 or something like that. So you can do a very nice amount of damage. He's able to get a nice shot into that T92E1 as he's poking up over the ridge, I'm sure trying to get a rocket off. So be aware of where the tanks are, and make sure you're noticing what tanks are low hit points. You can see now they've brought it down to a 4 versus 5, but the tides are quickly going to change against Fizzy here. And see, there's the 3 tanks that are spotted over there. He decides to come over here to try and deal with his T92E1, and as he comes rolling around, he does need to be careful of the tank, because it will be reloaded and he can dump a big 560 alpha into him. So right there, he decides to take the shot in order to clear the target, which is a good call. I may have rolled up just a little bit, tried to fake him out, see if I could have baited a shot, and then rolled over if he wouldn't have shot. But right here, that gun depression, trying to get it down so he can get a shot on that T54. He's going to hang up here trying to get another shot if he can, just before he rolls out of sight, but it just doesn't happen. That 6.3 second reload is very, very helpful. Because it's under that 7 second, I find it to be very, very effective. And right here you can see on this Conway, it's going to be just enough just before this Conway turns around to be able to take him out right before he gets a shot. So now it's left, that was a 1 versus 3. He's now brought that down to a 1 versus 2. Now he's got this Kanavin and the T54. Now both tanks are very dangerous, but he's going to make a wise decision and just push on this Kanavin because he is the low hit point. Now if he's lucky, he's able to clear him up in one more shot, and he leaves him on 51 hit points. Now the T54, he does a good job there of faking out that T54 of rolling around, and he is taking some shots from that Kanavin, but luckily he is running the crap gun on it, so he doesn't take too much damage, but it still is kind of a dangerous tank. Now what's left, he just took a shot from that T54. Now pretty much what's going to happen is he's going to play Ring Around the Rosies with the T54, and it's just going to come down to the cap, and he's going to just cap it out, and they're going to win. So overall, this tank is fantastic. I think it is a great tank. Now for $20, it is a steal. If you have $20 to spare, go ahead and pick it up because it is fantastic. Now you see Mastery 3.7K, overall great game. Now, if you guys like it, go ahead and give a like, give a sub, and I will see y'all in the next one.